I think we are live. This is Anna Runyon from classycareergirl.com, and we are covering today the top 20 time management habits of successful women. This is my second Facebook Live. I did one last week and it was a blast. But I did it in one of my private Facebook groups to kind of test it out, get all the tweaks out, learn how it works. I have my husband, our Chief Operating Officer, helping me out behind the scenes. Say hi, John.
Hey.
Hey. So if you have questions, he is going to be monitoring the chat box. Also, we have Periscope joining us too. We're doing two things at once, so we're trying it out. It worked last week, so hopefully it'll work again. But feel free, if you're on Periscope too, he's going to attempt to be monitoring both of the chat boxes. I'm going to jump in and monitor the chat box as well. But what I love the most about, I'm loving Facebook Live. Well, I've only done it one time, but what I love the most is that all of your comments are saved in Facebook so that I can go back in later. If I missed a question, if I missed anything that you asked, I can go back in later and answer your question. So know that if we don't get to your question, or if you want to ask me anything, just leave that comment below. I'll go back in later on and make sure that you get your question answered, or direct you to a blog post, or help you out. So that's huge. That's why I'm loving Facebook Live. And because with Periscope, it's hard to catch all those questions that are coming in, and then afterward I haven't been able to find a place to actually see what those questions were. So second time, Facebook Live, top 20 time management habits of successful women. This is one of my top blog posts. Actually, I only put 13 time management habits of successful women on the blog. Today I'm bringing you 20 because with more time goes on, I am talking to women. I am learning myself over the last 2 years of juggling this business and being a mom. I'm learning so many more tips myself too. So my kind of mission has always been figure it out myself and then teach it to you so you guys don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. So if you don't really know me at all, over 6 years ago I started a little blog. I was working full-time at my day job, and I was also going to business school at night. And for some reason, I decided that I had enough time to also start a blog too. So I started blogging one time a week when I first started, way back in 2010. And just really learned a lot about blogging, but about just juggling a lot of things at once. And I think actually when you have so many things going on, it actually helps you prioritize. It helps you become even more disciplined. Like, you have to. Like, right now, I'm running this business. I'm trying to maintain my health. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm, a support person. I'm a church person. Like, there's so many different things that I want to have my hands in, and I think that's good. So let's start with that. Like, even though you might think you're really busy, like, let's just start like this whole, event today, just being positive about the fact that we are busy. It's good. We have a lot of stuff going on. We probably have we're an important person in our family. And then if you have kids too, that's one of the most amazing things that you could be too. I love being a mom. So it comes with a lot. There's a lot of juggling. There's a lot of learning every single day. And that's another caveat I want to say about today too, is that these are 20 tips that I attempt and try my best to implement every single day of my life, but I am not perfect. I am very imperfect. So these are like my goals, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to do this all as well, and, make my dream business happen along with, managing my personal life as well. So just know that I'm right there with you. I do not have these all tackled, but they're the things that I attempt to get to every single day that I can. And I know when I'm doing these things, I am the most happy and fulfilled and loving life. So that's why I wanted to do this topic today as well. The other reason I really wanted to dive into time management, not only is it one of the most popular blog posts on my blog, it's one of the top questions I get, it's one of the top frustrations I hear, one of the top struggles that I'm always getting emails about. So it's really one of the most important things you can tackle before you start job searching, doing your career transition, or starting your business. Like, time is the basic. You can't launch your dream career or launch your dream business if you can't find the time to do it. Like, it's like number one on your priority scale. So that's why I really wanted to dive into this today. What do we think, John? Are we ready to get started with the list of the 20 tips, or do we have how's it going here? How are we doing behind the scenes? I'm just talking. Like, I could just keep talking.
I think everything's good. We're all live. People are jumping on. Alyssa Hagen just jumped on.
Alyssa! Hello.
Sherian B. Porter says hello.
Okay, awesome. I want to make sure that I can see it too, so I can see that the questions that are coming in. Awesome. We'll leave your questions. Let us know where you're calling from. Oh, I see it. Okay, we're up. Sherry Ann, Susan Lump. Awesome. Okay. Familiar faces. You guys know I love that. One of the things that John always reminds me right before we start any of this, because as you guys know, there's a lot of nerves sometimes that go along with this, but we always like think of a person that I'm talking to. So it really helps that I have like people I know, like Susan and Alyssa and all of you guys, Shar.
And Ida just said
hello. Ida's here. Okay, so we're doing good. I'm like, we're in familiar territory. You guys are friends. We're all good here. Elizabeth's here. Awesome. Okay, guys. I think we're ready to get started. Any other admin things that we need to cover, John?
All good.
All good. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to cover the top 20 time management habits of successful women. If you see me looking to this side a little bit, it's because we have a whiteboard in the back, and I have them all listed out. This is not memorized, but I have the list ready to go for you, and I'll actually take a screenshot of that afterward and post it up too. So if you miss one, don't worry. I know Facebook replays them, and then also we replay them on my YouTube channel as well. So there'll be a lot to cover. We're going to get started, and then also at the end, make sure you stick around because I'm also going to share the top 16 organization tools that I use and I could not live without. So that's just an extra little bonus too, because I just want you guys to know all of the tools that I use behind the scenes too. Okay, so let's get started with my number one time management tip. The first thing really is that it's a mindset thing. You have to know that you are in total control of your calendar, and your calendar doesn't control you. So way back a few years ago when I was in my corporate job, I had this calendar, and I just felt like people kept putting appointments on my calendar, right? Like, I kept getting full. All these people wanted to hang out with me and this time, and like, I would look at my calendar before the week started, and it would just be completely booked, and I would be like overwhelmed because at no point in my calendar did I have any time for me or to work on my blog or, to read or do anything that I actually wanted to do. So that was like kind of my light bulb moment. I was like, I need to start taking charge of my calendar and be really disciplined about it, that I put what I want to put on there. So obviously that comes with saying no to people. That also comes with starting the week fresh and actually putting the things in there in your calendar yourself. So you're taking charge of your calendar, you're controlling your calendar. The first step really is just a mindset. It's like really where I wanted to start because it's very overwhelming to look at your calendar sometimes. Like, sometimes you're just like so busy, but we all have little moments of the day where we can add in things that are really, really important to you as well. So whether that's early mornings or late at night, or maybe you have like 15 minutes in the middle of the day, like, I would challenge you to look at your calendar right now and really take charge of it. And what are your goals? When can you find time this week to actually work on those goals and plug those into your calendar? So like, you take charge of it, so you put those things in first. Like, you're most important in your calendar, not all these people wanting to hang out and, putting things into your calendar for you, but you take charge and control your calendar. So the second tip I have for you is batching. So this like changed everything for me when I learned how to batch. This was really when my business actually took off. It actually went from just a blog, hobby blog, into an actual real business. When I learned on the side of my day job, when I learned how to batch. So what batching is basically you're going to put similar activities and do them at the same time at certain times of the week. So for instance, for me, it's like email management. I check my email one time a day. Actually, it's more like twice a day, like morning and night. And that's it. So I'm batching all the time that I'm checking email so that I'm not doing it all the way throughout the day. I'm actually going to save time throughout the day because I'm not like in my inbox seeing what's coming in and all that stuff. So this is really important too. Well, it's important if you're job searching or if you're starting a business. If you're starting a business, you want to make sure that you're batching together the time that's like revenue producing activities. So anything like sales calls or any sort of marketing, maybe you're working on your website, you want to make sure you have a lot of time batched together to focus on that activity so you're not interrupted, with administrative tasks. So maybe like, you have a day, but if you have your Facebook open all day, then you're going to be distracted by that. So that's why it's really important to separate kind of like the time when you do social media. So you only do that at certain points of the day. So if any of you are in my Facebook group, I have a couple different Facebook groups. Some of them are for my students. Some of them I have the Love Your Work and Life Ladies Facebook group. That's a free community. And in that community, I have certain times of the day where I check in. So I'm not always in there, even though everyone else is posting all day and like I want to get to them and I want to answer them, but I batch together that time so I can answer questions bang, 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 and I'm not spreading myself too thin throughout the day. So that's really important for business owners. If you're job searching, it's also extremely important to batch your job searching activities. So say for instance, like LinkedIn is a great example because my LinkedIn, I don't know about your guys's, but my LinkedIn gets clogged up with the messages and connection requests. And so I spend one time a week where I batch together all of my LinkedIn activities and I do the messages and the connection requests and posts and like all that stuff for LinkedIn. Same thing with your resume. If you're working on your resume, you want to batch together as much time as possible to work on that resume and not be interrupted by other things as well. So really think how you could batch together some of your time. The thing that helped me the most is when I took out a calendar, and I actually have a printout of the calendar if you guys want to use my copy. If you don't have one yet, you can get it at www.classycareergirl.com/time management. But basically what I did is I took this calendar. I actually had one in Excel too, and I found that was really helpful. And I would put when I was going to work, the big chunks of time, when I was going to work on things during the week. So that way I knew like the large chunk of time I was going to work on, building my online course. And then another chunk of time I was going to work on like all the admin stuff that comes with starting a business. Your bookkeeping, you got to call this IT person, you have to deal with this website thing, like all that admin stuff that really wasn't going to grow my business. Were on other days of the week. So hopefully that tip, that if you implement anything, and that was gonna like change your life. What's coming in so far, John? How are we doing?
Doing good. Shar actually just had just an update, and tip number one, she's basically doing my job right now. Tip number one, mindset. You are in control of your calendar. Start with a fresh week and put what is important to you on your calendar. So she's gonna take notes for us. She's taking notes.
Awesome, Shar.
You're the designated scribe today.
You're the scribe. Well, that's perfect too because so my last Facebook Live that we did last week, it was on 20 mistakes that new bloggers make. I put it on a blog post. So I took all of the tips and actually put it on classycareergirl.com. So that's helpful if you take notes or whatever. I'll just look at that. But yeah, notes are always good too, especially for people who are just joining us. They can go back to. And Susan says she can actually hear you this time, so that's good, John. He loves he doesn't like his face being on camera, but if you follow us on Snapchat at Classy Career, you could see John because I sometimes snap him behind the scenes. He's also kind of funny, but he pretends that he's not. Okay, let's go on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is all about boundaries. And so this is one thing I found is really, really important when you put boundaries on your time. So for instance, that could mean, at a certain time at night, you're shutting down your computer, you're spending time with your significant other, with your family. Maybe it's dinner time, like that's like a do not mess with this time. It's like only for my family. I find that actually having boundaries, having time that I can't work, helps me be way more proactive in the times I can. So for instance, like the times where, my daughter has childcare, like I know that that is like my golden time. Like I have 3 hours. I need to do as much as possible. And that's when I just go, 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 go. And I get so much done. And the other days, when, I don't really have a schedule, we don't really have childcare, but we're just trying to juggle everything, that's when like it just gets really difficult and really hard, and we don't really actually get that much done. So I think it's really important to have those boundaries set aside. So maybe something that I am like constantly working towards, and I do not have this tip tackled yet, but I'm working towards it, is I really want my Sundays to be like no social media, no email, like no work, no nothing. So that's kind of like the one day where I shut down as much as possible and hang out with my family, go to church, and we just kind of like have that family day. So that's really, really important, I think, especially if you're creative like I am and you're like producing content or, starting a business, or maybe you're trying to, network and meet people or launch a new career. Like you really have to have that downtime. There's so many distractions right now with social media. There's all these new platforms, right? We're on like 3 of them right now. So I think it's just really important too to set those boundaries of when you won't be on social media. I think for me, it's really important in the morning time. I always guard that like very, very carefully, because I want to create my own content before I start consuming all this other content. Because once I start consuming other people's content or listen to the news or watch the news or read anything on Facebook, then what I have to share like kind of goes away. And like what I love doing every day is doing this stuff and blogging and doing videos and just helping you guys out. So if I can do that first thing in the morning before I start consuming other people's content, then that just makes my day and I'm a whole lot happier. Okay, number 4 is to categorize your time into different sections. So this is very similar to what we were talking about a little bit previously, which is batching your time. But I want you to think about your time, your calendar, in 3 different categories. So your first category is focus time. I'll just review them and then I'll explain what they are. So the categories you want to focus your calendar on are number 1, focus time, number 2, administrative time, and number 3, sacred time. Okay, so this kind of goes back to the batching thing, the thing that totally changed everything for me. Your focus time in your week is going to be the time that's going to get you closest to your goals. Whatever it is. If you're building a business, it's going to be the revenue producing activity that's actually going to help you grow your business. If you're job searching, it's going to be the activity that's actually going to get you closer to finding that new job, which, hint, hint, that's networking. It's not updating your resume. Although that's great, you still need to do that. But networking is where 80% of jobs are found. So it's really important that you batch. If you want a new career, or if you're thinking in the next year or 2 that you want a career change, it's really important that you batch together that networking time into your calendar, and that is your focus time. And then if you just love your career right now and you just want to, maybe have more leadership opportunities in the future, what your focus time is doing amazing things in your job that are going to set you apart and build you up for a promotion. So those are the activities that are, going to get seen by your higher ups, your boss. It's going to actually lead to bringing in more income for the company that you work with. That's what you really, really want to focus on. You know that if you are spending a ton of time on email or, working with other people, that you aren't going to get as much opportunity to focus on that stuff that's going to move your career forward. So that's what focusing is all about. It's all about the activities that are going to help you move your career, your business, or your job search forward. The administrative category, that's just stuff you have to do. Like, we all have to check email. We all have to update our social media profiles and stay up to date with our personal brands, no matter if you're job searching or starting a business or anything like that. LinkedIn, it's important to do all that. Administrative stuff is, maybe it's like it's like doing your taxes, or looking at your bookkeeping. Maybe it's updating your numbers. It's investigating how to start a website. Like, even something like that starting your website is not going to bring you an income. So that's even something that's kind of an admin task. You have to get it done. Long term, it will bring income in. So it's really, really important, but it's actually something that is not necessarily going to get you a client tomorrow. So think about that. That will really, really help you. I know I have, and probably some of you may be listening right now. I know I have some clients in the house, and I know a lot of them have been working very, very hard on building their websites, and they're gorgeous and they're beautiful. I just saw one pop up on the screen yesterday. I loved it. But I also give the tough love of like, you also got to be out there building your business too. A great, pretty website is not going to grow your business. You actually have to start talking to people and learning what their fears and frustrations are and figuring out how you can help them and start making sales and start offering what you have to offer. That's the most important stuff. It's just like going out there and doing it. Okay, so that's the admin stuff. It's just the stuff, probably you don't really want to do it maybe, but you just know that you need to, because that, you have to check the mail. You have to go get an oil change, the stuff that you just have to do. And then, so you're going to batch that stuff together too. I know I used to do it like all day Monday would be like my admin day. And then I would focus, this was when I was working, well at that time I was working part-time. So I had my Monday afternoons were my admin time. And then Tuesday, Thursday would be like the afternoons would be focus time. Wednesday would be like call time. And Fridays would just be whatever needed to actually happen. So figure out how you can batch those times together. And then the third category is your sacred time. That's kind of what we were talking about, is what's sacred to you? Like, what's really important to you? What are your values? Like, is family important to you? Is education important to you? Is going to yoga important to you? Is hanging out with your mom important to you? Like, what are those things? Like, make a list of everything that is important to you, that is your sacred time, and put those on your calendar too. So it all goes back to the mindset. It's kind of exactly what Shar said. It's really important to put what's important to you on your calendar first. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Shar's taking notes for you all. So if you're just joining us, definitely check those out in the comments. Any questions coming in so far? Nothing else? Just listening to this great content and actually taking action.
Everyone is mesmerized by your excellent training.
Well, if there's no questions, that means they got it, and they're gonna love their calendar next week, I think. Right. I want to hear how this goes. I want to hear what tip you're gonna actually take, because time and time again, it's all about taking action,
and
right?
If other people want to hear it, you can like it and share it and all that stuff.
Yes. See? Marketer John is wearing his marketer hat. Like it, share it, love it. Thank you guys. Yeah, they can actually love it now, because now there's new reactions that they can do.
Christy Recruits says, thank you. I'm going to make and follow a schedule.
Yes. Yes. See, isn't it funny? It just seems so
Mel
simple.
motivates me. I'm definitely implementing batching.
Yay. Yay.
See, we got some people here.
Yay. Action takers in the house. That's who I love working with. I mean, that's my whole, like, take action. Like, we could just stop it right there. If you take action, like, I'm so happy. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see. Oh gosh, don't hit the video game.
Note to self, don't knock over the tripod.
That was me. That was my foot. That was not an earthquake. Although we did have an earthquake like a week ago. So that would be interesting if we had an earthquake and we were live. That'd be cool. Okay, if it was just a little rocky one, not just like a crazy one. Because I've never been in like a huge crazy one. Just like I've just been
Mary
in, like,
Ellis is here.
Hey Mary, we see we even got family in the house. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. So we're on tip number 5. So let's get started with tip number 5. Okay, so discipline. Tip number 5 is all about discipline. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy to find the time to launch your dream job, your dream business. But this is a really, really simple tip. But I think about it all the time. Like when I want to go to bed, or when I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning, but I know I need to get up. Like, discipline. Like, I think of that word, and so maybe you can like think of that word at some point when you just want to watch TV, or you don't want to work, or you want to watch Netflix, or whatever it is. It's just discipline is required if you want to make your goals happen. And it's not easy, and you have to have a plan, you have to have a schedule. That's why I'm glad a lot of you guys are saying that I'm implementing a schedule, I'm implementing a plan. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. And this comes up a lot of times when people are like, gosh, I thought this would be a lot easier. I thought I thought I would find a job right now, or I thought I would, have my business launched a lot faster. And like my response is always like, it takes work. Like you can't just read articles. You can't just, think about it a lot, work on your website a lot. You actually have to be disciplined and put that time spot in your calendar to really move forward. So discipline is required. Okay, number 6. A lot of you guys probably already have heard of this, but the Pareto principle is huge. It's so important. And what it is that 20% of what you're doing right now leads to 80% of your results. So you might just think that that's a cool equation and everything, but it's actually like a total game changer, whether you're a job searcher, whether you're starting a business, or even whether you just want to get promoted. So for instance, right now, if you have a business or you want to start a business, I'll just give you guys an example. For me, when I look at my books, like when I look at my numbers, I can easily see in the past, things have been changing lately because we've been changing some of our business model in our business. But if I looked at last year, so if I looked at 2015, I could tell you exactly that 20% of what I was doing led to 80% of my results. 20% of what I was selling led to 80% of my income. Like 20% of the work that I did, and this is why it's so important. And another great example is my traffic to my website. Like the 20% of the work I do generating traffic leads to 80% of my results. And I will tell you where that is. It's on Pinterest. So I do just a little bit on Pinterest, but the traffic from Pinterest is humongous. Like it way outperforms everything else. But I never would have known that if I wasn't tracking, where those results were coming from. Obviously I have Google Analytics on my website, so I know where I'm getting the most traffic, because once you know what's working, once you know what that 20% is, that's going to lead to 80% of your results, whether it's that one product you're selling that is just outperforming all the rest, or that one client, or that one advertising activity that you're doing, if it's going to outperform all the rest, then you want to focus more time and attention there. Same with job searching. So if we have any job searchers in the house, 20% of what you're doing is going to lead to 80% of your results. So if you're doing a little bit of networking, that's going to lead more to getting you that dream job than online job searching. You guys, if you know me at all, I'm not a huge fan of online job searching. I think that it's a lot more important to be out there talking to people. Way back in 2011, I did a 4x4 networking challenge and met with 4 people I did know and 4 people I did not know every month, and that like changed everything for me. So I could not be more of a proponent for networking, because I think it helps you figure out what career you want and then lead to the connections that can actually help you get that career too. So just think of what you're doing in your journey to your dream career, your dream business. Like, what are you doing right now that's leading you to 80% of your results? And that will help you kind of plan your calendar instead of wasting time. Like for me, I know, updating my Facebook status on a constant basis is not going to lead me to, generating enough income to support my business. Like there's other ways that are actually supporting me. So that's what I'm focused on. Eventually you get to the point where you can start delegating those things that are not as important for you to be doing as the business owner as well. So for me, that's kind of what I've done. I have virtual assistants that kind of help me with that stuff too. So I can focus on my good 20% that's going to produce 80% of the results. Okay, tip number 7 is to start saying no more. Like, no. This is hard as women. It's extremely hard to say no, but it's really, really important. And it goes back to putting what's important to you on your calendar and making sure that you have your values, you have your family time, you have your sacred time. And anytime someone asks you something, has to do something, you know, you don't always have to say yes. You can say, let me think about it. Let me look at my calendar and get back to you. Like, that's an easy way to actually then be able to go back, look at your calendar, see if you can do this. John and I do this all the time. Like, we're not quick to immediately say yes unless we both know, like, okay, we need to do this. Like, this is a given. But it's good to think about things. See how they're going to work in your calendar. See how, you know, see what you can do so you don't get overloaded. Sometimes it's, you know, a professional association you need to say no to. Like, maybe you've been going to some networking groups and they're just not right for you anymore. Like, all that stuff, it's okay. It's okay to say no. I think, John, you had a good quote one time. It was like, the most successful people say no more than they say yes. Did I get it right?
That's Warren Buffett, yeah.
Warren Buffett says that, okay? So we'll listen to him.
There's another good one. Stress happens when your gut says no and your mouth says yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that happens to me so much. That's the cause of all my stress. That's a good one. Did you just make that up, or you heard that? We don't know who.
I'm gonna say I made it up right now.
We don't know
That's what I'll
who
say.
initially said
right
that, but we won't get John in trouble for copywriting.
Copywriting.
At least he gave Warren Buffett some credit, because I don't think we want him to come after us if that doesn't work out. Okay, so think about saying no. Any questions?
Yeah, so Velvet Yvonne specifically is asking, she says, how about stay-at-home moms?
Yes.
And I think this is just kind of a general, like, any specific tips for stay-at-home moms on time management?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's focusing on as much time, being very focused on the time that you do have. So for me as a mom, I am a little bit different. I am stay at home. Obviously, we're in my house right now. But I know that when my daughter wakes up at 7 o'clock, hopefully your child sleeps later. That was key for me. When she was able to start sleeping till 7, then I could get up at 5 and get a full 2 hours of focus time in. So whether that's, I don't know what you do, Velvet, but whatever that is, that's going to help you. So whether that's, you know, doing stuff, you know, I always do like a crock pot meal. Like, I'll put something on, it takes 5 minutes in the morning, and then I have dinner ready, and then I'll make my smoothie. I'll make like Ziploc smoothie bags, so I have that ready. I'll write my blog, I'll read, I'll do my journal. But I think that morning time is really, really important for me to wake up before her. What I found is that when she wakes me up crying, like, I'm not very much a happy person. I'm not as happy as I could be if I had those 2 hours in the morning by myself. So see if there's any way that you can wake up first thing before he or she or your children get up in the morning. And it's just being very focused of the time that you do have. I think that's just, I think when you are home, it's a lot easier to just kind of relax and lay back. And I think, you know, the Pareto principle is similar, I think, to parenting. I mean, I'm no parenting expert. I have a toddler. I'm trying to figure this all out myself. But, like, you know, that the 20% of the time that you spend, that quality time that you are going to spend with your children, will lead to 80% of the results that they might have. Can I apply that to parenting? You
Absolutely.
can, right?
I think you just did.
I think I can. I mean, it makes sense in my mind. I'm not, you know, I'm no parenting expert, but to me, it's like, you know those times where you're having that quality time with your child, and those are the important times. You know, those are I mean, am I allowed to say this? Like, the time yesterday, no, I'm not. I'm actually not going to share that. I'm going to make a better guess here and actually not share a very personal thing about my child. But
that's good. We'll switch. So how much, Triva asks, how much time does it typically take you to write a blog post? Has that time gotten shorter over the years? Velvet Yvonne says she has adopted 2 teens 3.5 years ago. Great awesome. Area to go. So that's awesome, Velvet.
Very cool. That's very, very cool. I love that. Post a picture. I want to see. Okay, you can't do two. So I have to be focused. So he just said 2 things at once, and that makes my brain go. Okay, so Triva says, has the time changed from how long it took me to write my blog posts from previously to now? So that's an interesting question, Triva, because the time it actually takes me has actually increased writing a very good quality blog post, because now I know how much, well, one, I have a lot more expertise to share. Like I have a lot more that I want to share with you, but I also love blog posts that just give so much stuff away. So now my blog posts, the ones that are really, really, the quality ones, I try and write at least like 5 to 10 of those every month of giving a ton away. Like I'm sharing a ton of stuff. They're really long. I'm including a video now. So it's actually gotten to be a lot longer than when I first started, and it was like I was taking notes in business school and I was sharing them with my readers, like, just jotting down stuff. You can actually go back to my posts way back in 2010 and you can see like they're not as quality as they are today. So I'm definitely putting a lot more time into photos right now. Every photo has a Pinterest image. Every blog post has a great Pinterest image, if not 2, 3. And just putting more time into the photos that go into it too, because images are so much more important these days than they were back in 2010, before, like, I started before Pinterest was around. I don't think Instagram was even around, or at least I didn't know about it at all. So I think, where we're going, like, it's more important to do less blog posts and more quality blog posts. So we have guest contributors coming on our site that are sharing great stuff. So that makes it easier for me too, because I don't need to do a daily awesome post anymore. Like I can do 1 a week, or we're getting to like 2 or 3 a week, instead of just, because there's more people there too. And it's hard to say how long it takes me. It really depends on the post. I don't rush posts ever. So if there's something on my mind, if I'm like really inspired, I can get a whole post out in an hour, but then I'll go back to it later. I'll edit it. I'll make it look better. Sometimes I have some members on my team will take like audio that I've done and turn that into blog posts. And then I'll just take the transcript and kind of make that into a blog post as well. So there's different ways that you can repurpose content to get your content out there. But I'm glad you're focused on doing these quality blog posts, because I think it's really, really important. So that's the challenge. Maybe I'll time myself. The next time I write like a really good blog post from scratch, Triva, I will time myself and see how long it actually takes me, because that's an interesting question.
Sharian says, do you plan out your content for your blogs?
A lot of blog questions. Okay, so I'm going to direct you to classycareergirl.com/blog checklist. That was one of the checklists that I had. And then also check out my YouTube channel, The Classy Career Girl, because I did a whole Facebook Live last week on blogging, but I want to stick to time management on this. And then at the end, I'll get to that question too if we have time. Who was that?
Sharian.
Hi, Sharian. But yes, I do plan out my content for my blogs. WordPress editorial calendar on using WordPress. And actually, there's going to be a blog post about that coming up on CCG this week. So just stay tuned to CCG. Okay, let's get into tip number 8. Tip number 8 is all about having a morning ritual. So every single morning, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing from the time I wake up until the time my daughter wakes up. And so I have it written out. So I want to do these certain things. So I think that's really important too. I know I'm way more at peace and balanced and happier if I can knock out those things in the morning. It just really sets my day. It makes me so much happier and focused for the day and less stressed. So make sure that you have that morning ritual. So some of the things you could do that I've done is like meditation first thing, just being quiet and just sitting there and just like breathing deep, nothing like fancy or crazy or anything like that. And then also journal. I write in my success and gratitude journal every day. I try to. So 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 successes I've had. And then I have a mom's journal too. So every day I try and like document like one thing that we did together, or one funny thing she did, or cute thing, or just like memories for her. for someday. It's like a 5-year journal I got from Target that I'm excited to give her someday. That would be cool. But just have that plan of what you're going to do. I read, and then I start the blog and start creating some content, journaling together. Okay, number 9 is to find your best time. So this is really important. Some people are morning people, some people are night people. For me, I'm a morning person, so I can knock out, and I'm total, like, my mind is just going with all this stuff, with this creative juice in the mornings. So I know my best time. That's why I try my hardest to get up at 5 a.m. It doesn't always work, but I know if I can, like, it's going to be a great day. If I can get up at 5 a.m., it's going to be a great day because I can get so much out in the morning. That's my best time. Some people, it's the opposite. It's nighttime. So make sure that the key really is to make sure that you're using your best time on you and your goals. I know before I got my time and calendar on track, I was waking up and going into my day job, which I wasn't very happy in at the time. I was using my best time to move my clients and the company that I was working at forward instead of my dreams and goals forward. And so that's back to the mindset, is you just want to make sure you're using your best time, moving you forward, moving your dream forward, and focusing in on that. Number 10 is to have a weekly review time. So it's really important that every single week there's some time that you look to where you can go back the previous week, see, what did you get done? What did you not get done? You can knock out some of those admin things. And then you can also focus on what's the plan for the week. So then I look at my calendar for the next week. I see, I jot things down, like what's going to happen, just prepare myself for the next week. And then also the most important tasks. So I prioritize the top 3 things that I need to get done that week that are the most important. And then also jot some other things down that I need to do, like, go to the grocery store, or like pick up this or that, or return this at Target. So little things. So, and right now I've been doing this on Sunday nights before the week starts. So that alone has changed everything for me. So I would really recommend having that routine. Routine is really important, so that there's a certain time in a day that you are reviewing things and moving forward, planning the week ahead. Your weekly review time. And I think I mentioned this previously, but we do have kind of like a to-do list and a weekly review schedule that you can download at www.classycareergirl.com/time management. Okay, number 11, very similar to what we just talked about. Number 11 is to limit your priorities. So like you saw, I only prioritize 3 things that I'm going to focus on for the next week. So you might sound that sounds crazy, but I try not to do number 2 until number 1 is done. So when I wake up Monday morning, I'm not doing a bunch of stuff that's not actually going to move me closer to my goal. So every month I know what my top priorities are for the month. And then every week I kind of look on that weekly review time. I look and see, okay, what are the 3 things I need to do this week that's going to move me forward to that monthly goal? And then later on, a step ahead of that, actually the first step is the 90-day plan. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the 90-day plan. Then every month I look and focus on what I need to do that month. And then every week I look and focus on what I need to do that week. I don't go to the number 2 until I'm done with the number 1. So hopefully that makes sense, but it's really limiting your priorities. If you have too much on your plate, you're not going to be able to get it all done. Maybe there's some things you just need to say no to, you're not going to be able to do. Go through your big task list and maybe knock some stuff out and prioritize what's really, really important. Okay, number 12. This is something I learned when I was a new mom, about six months in, when I was trying to do it all. I am not Superwoman. I can't do it all. And I think that was a really eye-opener for me, of that, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to keep the house clean, and my daughter fed, and she had some issues and so with her tongue, and so she couldn't drink very well, and so it was just, life was crazy. And I was trying to grow this business. I had not gone back to my job after maternity leave, so there was a lot of stress on myself to actually build this business. This was before I had any help whatsoever. It was like me and a virtual assistant. So just know that, like that, you know, John and I had to have a really in-depth conversation at one point because I was like trying to do everything. And luckily I was part of a mastermind group and they were able to kind of guide me and help me and ask me some questions that really were eye-opening for me. They were like, how many hours a week do you want to work? And I was like, I couldn't even tell them how many hours I wanted to work or what my schedule was or when I would get help with watching my daughter. So all that stuff kind of factors into me thinking that before I had my daughter is that I could do it all and I could run a business and spend all this time with my daughter and kind of do it all at once. So my eye-opener, I hope that helps you guys too. Just a little friendly reminder that we can't do everything. We need to ask for help.
Can we just give a quick shout out to Shar, who is taking phenomenal notes on here?
Yay!
Thanks, Shar.
Shout out to Shar.
Thanks, Shar. You're awesome.
I love it. I love it. And I saw Sherry says, what do you do if you get off track? How do you reset? So funny that you asked because that actually happened to me last night. I was feeling, yesterday was kind of a crazy day and you know, we had a lot going on. There's a lot of stress. And I was feeling overwhelmed. I totally got off track, but I took a shower and like, I was just like in the shower and I was like took a couple of deep breaths and I got back out and I was like totally back and focused on how we could, right at that point I was worried about this Facebook Live because I hadn't done any preparation, but got out of the shower and I was like just gonna focus on what the biggest priority for you is. I think that's the most important, is if you get off track, just focusing in on what the priority is and letting everything else go and just focusing on one thing. That would be my tip for you, Sharon. Okay, number 13 is just a simple reminder that you don't find time, you make time. And if you guys, I have a book recommendation for you. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And this is like, this book is kind of all about that, making time instead of finding time. So I can't tell you how many people I've come across who said, gosh, I wish, you know, I could start a business, but I can't find the time. Or I wish I could change jobs, but I'm too busy, I can't find the time. And it's just it's a simple change in your mindset of making the time instead of finding the time. I just posted this on Instagram too, and it was like, it's just like it's just like how you speak, even what you say. I'm too busy, I don't have time for that, you just make the time. Like just switch the mindset of making the time for what you value and what's important to you. And I think that will help. I know it's hard. I know I'm probably making it sound a lot easier than it actually is. Like all of these tips are very, very hard. So just so you know that, I'm just giving you these simple things that you can start working towards, like especially with your mindset. Okay, number 14. I love this one. So I heard this at a conference I was at a couple months ago, and the speaker said, I think his name was Scott Harris. Scott Harris? I think that's what his name was. He said, life is decided in 15-minute increments. And it was, I love that, because how many of us have little 15 minutes here and there where maybe we're just on Facebook or Instagram or trying to figure out Snapchat? Like what could we be doing in those 15-minute increments? Like in 15 minutes, you can, you know, message someone on LinkedIn and get an informational interview. In 15 minutes, you know, you could reach out to a potential client. In 15 minutes, you could have an informational interview. In 15 minutes, you could pick up the phone and call someone who is subscribed to your email newsletter and have a conversation with them, maybe make a sale. Like there's just so many things that you can do in 15 minutes. It's great if you can batch those 15 minutes together, you can move forward faster. But like if you're very, very swamped and overwhelmed right now, figure out where you can make those 15 minutes happen, because like I said, life is decided in those 15-minute increments. Number 14, oh, sorry, we're on number 15. Is this similar to, instead of saying you're busy, be productive. We're all busy. It's just a matter of how productive that we can be, how efficient we can be. Just simple, like a lot of this stuff, it's not it's not actually like practical, it's just like tips, it's just like mindset. Like that's why the mindset is so important if you want to launch your dream job or dream business. It's like changing how you think. So every time you know, when someone says, how are you? Like, do you say, oh, I'm really busy? Or, you know, or changing how you're talking, what you're saying, and focusing on being productive when you can find those 15-minute increments in your day to move you forward every week. It's all about the imperfect action. Things aren't going to happen overnight. Okay, number 16, if you have a business, this one is a game changer for you to think about with your time. You want to make sure that as much as possible you're working on your business, not in your business. So of course there are times where we have to work in our business, and those are kind of those admin times that I was talking about. But as much as possible, you're working on your business, you're growing your business, you're doing things that are going to grow your business and move your business forward. I think we can apply it same too, as, you know, you're working on your job search, not in your job search. I think that could work. Or working on your career, not in your career. I like that one better. Working on your career, not in your career. So, you know, we all have day-to-day stuff that we need to get done if you're working in your corporate job. So just focusing on how you can move it forward as well. Okay, number 17. When you get on an airplane, what do they tell you to do? Make sure you put your own oxygen mask on first before putting one on your child, right? That's kind of in their safety instructions. So thinking of it the same way, self-care is really, really important. It's really important to take care of yourself. You know, I'm in a mastermind group with one of my friends, and she has 3 kids, and she makes it a priority to go, like when she does have the childcare or her nanny comes over, she spends one of those hours that her nanny is there going for a run, taking care of herself, getting healthy and feeling great, because then she can come back and be way more focused on her business, so those next couple hours that she has. So figuring out where you can take care of yourself first, whether that's like a bath or it's a manicure or it's just reading a book, or for me, I mean, my self-care that I need is my morning time. If I don't get that, then I'm not as great of a mom, a wife, a CEO, a support person for you guys. There's the only reason I'm here and being able to do this gives so much to you guys is because I'm doing my best to take care of myself too. Going for runs, you know, just trying to keep healthy and that, all that, and energized and stuff too. Okay, number 18, sleep. This one's brought to you by Arianna Huffington. She just came out with a new book. I think it's, I actually don't exactly know what the title of the book is, but I'm going to read it. But I heard an interview with her, and she said between 7 to 8 hours of sleep no matter what. And this one's hard for me. I don't always get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but it's one of these time tips that I'm taking action on, and I'm trying to implement in my business as well. You know, if I'm getting up at 5, that means I need to go to bed earlier, and it's really hard for me to go to bed because I want to keep working and blogging at night and putting out great content and videos for you guys. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep, try your best to do that no matter what. 19, morning time is magic for me. So do your best to see what you can get done in the morning. Usually you can just wake up a little bit earlier, even if it's that 15 minutes, and that will be a total game changer for you. Number 20, it was really funny. We had I had 19 tips that I came up with, and this morning I asked John, I was like, I need a 20th tip. I need, what's my 20th time tip? So this one's brought to you by John, although he does not follow this. And so the 20th tip is to not check email first thing in the morning. This is his tip because he knows he should not be doing this. Like, we all know we should not be checking email first thing. I know when I was in corporate and I was doing this, it was just like, it brought so much stress and overwhelm first thing when I just checked email first thing. So don't do that. Okay, so do I have time to share my top 16 organizational tools that I can't live without? Do you guys want to hear them? Do we have any questions that have come in before we move on to my tools that I want to share with you guys?
Elizabeth Lazon says it is Arianna Huffington's book is The Sleep Revolution, Transforming Your Life One Night at a Time.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I knew you guys would know what I was talking about. I I just say a keyword and you guys come up with the whole title. But yeah, it sounds like a great book too. So I loved her other book, Thrive, as well. Okay, yes. So Susan Lump says yes. So I will share the organizational tools. So this is how I get through everything, what I've learned, juggling a lot of different things. The first tool that I use, can't live without, is asana.com, ASANA. So this is the tool that I use for my to-do list, my personal to-do list, but also with my entire team. And so everyone is on Asana. So that way we've limited email. This is why I don't get that many emails anymore. Like everything is on Asana, going back and forth. You can comment about tasks. So every night I go to bed with a cleared out inbox because I move everything into Asana. If it's a to-do list or a task, even if I have to email someone back, I move it into Asana. So I love, love, love Asana. Okay, number 2, the second tool I use and I love is timetrade.com. So this one's great if you work with clients or you have people that are coming and want to be talking to you throughout your day. I have like one day a week where I open up my calendar to talk to clients. And so there's like times where clients can book times with me and talk to me. And so it's really easy because then I don't need an assistant or I don't need to go back and forth by email like, hi, I'm available at noon and are you available? Like, well, I'm not available then. Are you available this time? Like, I can't stand that, especially because I'm on the West Coast and I feel like I deal with a lot of people on the East Coast. And so the time zones and like, it hurts my brain to think of, you know, all the time changes and what time is it in Iowa and like all that stuff. So timetrade.com. Number 3 is rescuetime.com. And so what rescue time is it kind of gives you, kind of tells you how you're doing with your time. So it'll track, like you'll have to install it on your computer and it'll track how you're doing, how much time you're spending on social media, how much time you're spending on on certain sites, you know, the kind of work that you're doing, and it'll give you kind of a report about how you're doing and how you can improve. Number 4, I can't live without my Google Drive, my Google Calendar, and my Google email. So I use Google. I used to use Outlook, but I have switched everything now to Google. Google Drive is how I keep track of like notes, so you know, blog topics or Instagram quotes, Snapchat themes, things I want to share with John and I to discuss. I'll go on my Google Drive. And then Google Calendar, like, you know, John and I share Google Calendar, so he knows what stuff I have going on, I know what stuff he's going on, and so that's really helpful as well. Number 5 is Dropbox. Dropbox is huge for us. Every single file we have, and you guys can imagine how many files we have, it's insane, of all of our training materials and workbooks and like all that stuff that we have and videos. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. So it's really helpful to use Dropbox because it would get enormous. The size would be crazy if we were putting all this stuff on our computers. But I've had situations where like my computer breaks and stuff and I don't have to worry. Like one time, I shouldn't even tell you this, one time I left my laptop on a plane. So silly, but it was the first time traveling with a baby and I was like, I couldn't do it all. I needed to ask for help. But I left my laptop on the plane and my dad was so worried for me. He's like, all your files, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I don't have any files on my computer. All my files are in Dropbox. Like, so it like released some stress because I didn't have to worry that I had lost all my files on my computer, which if he lost his computer, he would lose all his files because they were all saved on his computer. So just huge to keep that all in Dropbox. We can share back and forth. I have 2 VAs, virtual assistants in the Philippines. They can access everything. I can access everything. It's super nice, very easy. Number 6 is Evernote.
You should mention that you remembered the baby. You forgot the computer on the plane.
I forgot the computer. I remembered
the
the baby. The baby's way more important than the computer.
Kudos to you.
Yeah. No, my mom was actually, she couldn't understand why I wasn't freaking out. And I was like, I have my daughter. Like, that's all that matters. Like, I made it off the plane. We were going to Australia. 6 months. She was 6 months. And we had made it off the plane. So that's all that I was happy about. Made it with the baby. Okay, number 6 is Evernote. Evernote is really great to sync through multiple devices. So I know like I have it on my computer so I can look up things. And then I also have it on my laptop. I don't actually use it as much, but I used to. Now that I have Asana, I don't use it as much, but I used to send like all my like old like important emails. You can just forward important emails into Evernote, so that way like if I go back 5 years and I need something, I can like search for it in Evernote and pull it up. So that's really nice. I kind of used it just as like my storage device. So if you haven't noticed, the theme is the cloud, keeping everything like virtual so you can access it on different computers and phones, and all that stuff is really important to me. Number 7, I use the notes on my iPhone a ton. So I use them for hashtags for Instagram, but also I use it for blog ideas. So if I have blog ideas that come to me, I'm like constantly there just like writing ideas that come to me from my blog for future blog posts or Facebook Live videos or anything like that on my iPhone. Number 8, if you use social media in any way, even if, if you're job searching or creating your personal brand, if you're starting a business, the social media scheduling system I use is called Viral Tag. So this is a new one that has just caught my eye, but it has very much won me over because it's saving me a lot of time. So this is all about the tools that save me time, because I can pre-schedule everything. So that's my favorite as of now. You can actually, if you're a blogger, they give you 6 months free. You can schedule your Instagram, you can schedule your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. Instagram, you also have to manually post, but it helps you put the content on there, so it's a lot easier to post when you're out and about and in a rush. But the main reason I loved it is because it lets me schedule my Pinterest photos and links. And so, as I said earlier on in this event, that Pinterest drives one of the most traffic to my website. So having Pinterest pins go up all the way throughout the day, like right now when I'm doing other things, is really, really important for me because it's the one that produces the most results. So I'm focusing in on that. Okay, number 9. Is my virtual assistants have helped. That's like helped me organize. I love them to death. So where I found them, I wanted to give you guys in case you are interested in having a virtual assistant yourself, because that, I hired a virtual assistant very early on in my business. I used a site called onlinejobs.ph. And she's from the Philippines. I have 2 now, but when I first started, I hired one who just helped me with things I couldn't keep up with because I had a full-time job and I was going to business school. So there was just things that I knew I would never be able to focus on the most important things and work on my business if I just had to keep focus, if I didn't have enough time to focus on working in my business. So that's why it's key to this whole topic, is you may have to start delegating some things to other people. And, I'm a big fan of virtual assistants to help you do that. Number 10 is a new one I just discovered about 2 months since I moved back to San Diego. Amazon Prime Now. So it's not available in all cities, I don't believe yet, but it is an app that I use where I can get my groceries delivered to me from Sprouts, which is like the grocery store I go to all the time. I think you have to be an Amazon Prime member, and then you tip them for bringing it to your house, but there's no extra charge. It's just a small tip. So in my book, it's amazing because it keeps your prior grocery shopping purchases, so it's easy to find, okay, I got milk last time, I need to get milk again, so it's like super easy. I can get John's favorite apples. I don't always get the wrong ones or his wrong orange juice, like it's all saved there, so it's just really quick. And then I know I save money because when I'm not at the grocery store, like looking at all the things that I want to buy, I'm limiting things because I see my bill being added up. So I know what my budget is. I know what I don't want to go over. So at the end, if I'm over, like maybe I'll be like, oh, I actually don't need this. And I'll actually make sure that I stay under a certain number. So even though you have to tip a little, to me, in my book, it's actually saving money. It's helping me plan out. I do that once a week. They deliver it. They bring it up my stairs. And I have my daughter. So it helps me, in my book, I get to spend more time with my daughter instead of being like stressed about going to the grocery store and carrying everything up the stairs. And it's just the little things that are priorities, and it goes back to what's important to you and your values, and my daughter is. And so to me, that works for me, and I love it. So okay, number 11, it's kind of a silly one, now I laugh when I see that I put that up there, is Pinterest for meal prep. So that is how I plan my meals, is basically going on Pinterest and looking up great crock pot recipes. I have a meals board on Pinterest. If you want to look me up, you can see like I'm always pinning stuff on there. So I use that to organize kind of like the food that I'm gonna prep and make every week. Number 12, we use Trello, Trello. We don't use it that much, but we do use it for our operations manual. So if you are doing any sort of work where you have to train other people, I love Trello because you can put in the like video links to Dropbox, but you can also put in like worksheets and give some text to it as well. And the best thing, I mean, some people use Trello instead of Asana. Like Trello is like, you might want to look at it if you're a creative person. A lot of people love it because it's more visual. It kind of looks like Pinterest. It has like boards and it's pretty. There's colors and stuff. So if you're visual, you might love Trello. I love it for my operations manual, for my entire team. Any sort of training we do internally goes on there for our assistants to look at. Okay, number 13 is eggtimer.com, but it's e.ggtimer.com. Very simple. All it is, it's a quick timer. So if you have like 15 minutes to do something, you set the timer for 15 minutes and it'll go off when it's done. But I found that timing yourself and giving yourself like a goal, like, okay, I only have that 15-minute increment done. Like how much can I get done before that 15 minutes is up? Number 14 is focusatwill.com, and that one is just music that plays, kind of the same thing. It's a timer, so it plays for a certain amount of time, and that will, the music will go off when you're done, when you've like kind of hit that amount of time. So if you like music, they have all kinds of different music that you can use. And by the way, this whole list, if you want it, as well as all my other time tips, you can go to www.classycareergirl.com/time management, and that will give you all of this stuff and all of the tools that I use as well. Number 15, whiteboards are really important for us. So we have whiteboards like all over our office. I try and go digital and whiteboards. So there's no paper. Oh, there's a couple of things back, that's a couple envelopes, but I try and go paperless. Like everything I do, I don't like to keep papers around. John has some papers over there, but that's on his side of the desk. So whiteboards, anytime you can have a whiteboard to put your to-do list on, it'll just make it a lot easier as well. Number 16, I get a lot of questions often, this is my last one, of what planner I use and what helps me. So this year I've used a sugar paper planner from Target. They have a lot of really pretty ones, so definitely check those out, but that has really helped me. They have a little section, all of them are a little different, but the one I have has a monthly section and a weekly section, so that really helps me get into that schedule I was talking about earlier, where every month I plan out what I need to do every month and my goals, and then every week, like what are my top 3 priorities and what are like the things that I shouldn't forget, all that different stuff. So that's really helped me kind of focus in on this whole routine and schedule that we've got going on. Okay, I think we did it, John. Yay! Second Facebook Live. How'd it go? Woo-hoo! Let us know. Let us know how it went, what you liked, what you're implementing, which action, like what was there light bulbs? Like please share with me. I love, like I told you guys in the very beginning, I will be going down in the comments and answering any questions I missed and just, seeing who is here. I love seeing new faces, familiar faces, and so thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you get that checklist. It's at www.classycareergirl.com/time management. We have plenty. There was the question about blogging too. That was at www.classycareergirl.com/blog checklist. If you're interested in blogging. Anything else, John?
What was the music timer?
Oh, the music timer was focus@will.com. And I'll take a screenshot of my little whiteboard here that I keep looking at. So if you guys missed anything, and then I always follow up this whole Facebook Live should be recorded on Facebook, but we'll also post it on YouTube, and we'll do a blog post about it too. And if you liked this, please share it. We would really, really appreciate it. Like it, share it. We love you guys sharing our stuff too, because as you can see, like, I'm all about sharing. Like, this is just me on camera in my house, and this is my job. Like, this is what I love doing. I'm glad Facebook has given us this opportunity, because this really fits my personality to just kind of get out here and do it. So I think that is it. Any other last minute things? We're good? Awesome. Very cool. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you guys on our Facebook group on Facebook, but reach out if you need anything. And we're going to try and do these a lot more. And so if you liked it, let us know. And we'll see you guys on Facebook again. Thanks for joining us. Bye everyone.